podcast. I know probably no one's in. Everybody's out. But these are timeless readings, so when you see it, that's when you're meant to see it. I've had people try and watch it and it not go through. And then when it does load up, that's when they're meant to hear it. So I'll get this done on this beautiful May Day. We're here at Four Candles Farm. We are flax seeding, having a flax seeding ceremony today. So I'm going to get a collective, how was everyone's new moon in Taurus, which is bit of the ram, bull. Let's see, I've done my cards as always, so we're gonna feel it out. I'm moving into the hut, so got new bedding. Right, please can I have a message from the fairies of the highest level for the collective, the energies, opportunities, portals, shadow work, whatever it is that we need to work on. That was quick. We got the Seven of Cups. So I think this came up the other day. We've got the Queen of Wands underneath. So the Queen of Wands is the Shadow Queen. So if anything comes up in front of her that triggers her or she doesn't like the look of, she'll always go in, do the shadow work and then come out, you know, with a brand new idea, a brand new way of healing, a brand new way of, and she's a very astute businesswoman, so she's like in charge, and she will she's very alluring as well. So this shadow work that she's done makes her very magnetic. So that's bottom of the deck, because she's done the shadow work. Now the Seven of Cups, as you can see here, there's options coming in, there's opportunities coming in, and she's feeling it out. We did have this the other day, so we're probably still in the same energy of these opportunities coming in, or offers, cups of offers. Now some of them will be tangible, some of them will not. Some of them might just be hearsay. And that's what she's doing. She's sort of picking each cup up and she's looking into it and seeing if it matches her vibration. Is it going to serve me? Is it going to fill my cup? Is it an illusion, a delusion? Is it real? So that's what we've got. But the Queen of Wands will obviously fill these cups out, or if she does decide to choose one of these cups, it will be for a form of healing. There'll be some shadow work that needs doing, possibly, you know, trusting people, places, things that aren't rooted in reality is what I'm getting with that. And the Queen of Wands will, you know, if she chooses a cup like that, she will then go away, see where it is reflecting in her a shadow that she needs to clear. So we're going to ask the Oracle Fairies for some backup on that, but it's definitely options. Or where do I want to go next? Seven is like, you know, where do I want to go next? What do I want to do next? But she's deep in thought and she's looking at all the options. She's feeling these cups out. Now the Seven is the one before the Eight of Cups. So it could be 7 options and then 8 of Cups in the ones that don't serve her. Let's have a look at what we get with the Seven of Cups. Give me something to go with the Seven of Cups. journey. It's time to prepare for a journey. It may be impromptu or planned. Either way, make sure you're ready when the time comes. Pack your passport now. Now this could be journeying on the outside, but it could also be journeying on the inside as well, because journeying is inwardly, outwardly. But it suggests movement. She's got this massive, great big hair there that she's obviously about to jump on the back of. So it's definitely movement forward. So that could be one of the options that's coming in. One of the Seven of Cups. There is this, we're going to get some more on that. At the bottom of the deck we've got protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with a magic fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking upon any spiritual work. So as I do mine, I say protection of the highest level before I do a reading. So it's if you are going somewhere, or there is an opportunity for you to move or go somewhere, and it involves maybe a lot of people or whatever it is, protection of the highest level. I had to change that saying, because I mean I always know I'm protected anyway, but I had to change it because I was saying protection from the highest level. Now as in from, it can be from them, but also from is a blockage word. So I did have to change that, and it's really important that we verbalise ourselves precisely. So I say of the highest level, you know, coming down. So we're going to get another one. So there could be this Seven of Cups. One of the options that she is actually debating is whether to go on a journey. So we're going to get another one from these. Let's see, and then we'll go a bit deeper into what the message is. I do feel like the journeying could be inwardly. And there is protection around that. Maybe there's parts of shadow that we may be a little bit afraid to look at. But we're being told that there is protection to go ahead and do that. Let's see what else we've got. Now these videos, for some reason, they've started deleting them in a month. So if you need to catch up, I'd download them to your phone. They do give me a warning. Your video is going to be deleted in a month, which is really annoying because obviously, like I say, these are they're timeless. So you might not even stumble upon the page until, you know, next August, and want to go back, and it's not ideal. So we've got unconditional love, 42, which is a number 6. Giving and receiving in equal balance. Unconditional love is also unconditional love for self. So when we unconditionally love ourselves, we're able to unconditionally love other people. And again, that's an inward journey. That is something that the Queen of Wands works on, masters, comes out, has this ability to be able to share it. The wands represent skills. The wands represent magic, healing abilities. So we're going to get some more on that, but it's purple, so it's kind of like, for me, whenever I see the purple, it's third eye. It's the way we think. So we have to unconditionally think and love ourselves in the mind space first, and then we can do it to other people. Bottom of the deck, we've got progress. So this is something, like, again, this is a journey. It may be an outward journey, but I think this whole Seven of Cups is, I'm feeling out. I'm getting rid of anything that's based in illusion, delusion. It's not sustainable. It doesn't sit with me. It's not matching my frequency of unconditional love that I have for myself, and progress forward, which is green. So you can see she's learning, she's actually kind of admiring her own wings. This is what I've grown. This is the work I've done on myself, and now I have this beautiful set of wings because I'm moving forward progressively. Where are we going next? So let's get some more on this Seven of Cups. Unconditional love. So it's like she may have had 7 offers previously that weren't rooted in unconditional love, and you know, the concept of unconditional love isn't I don't have any boundaries. Unconditional love is, oh, I'll accept any behaviour because I unconditionally love you. That's been, you know, obviously a misconcept for a lot of years. And you can have really strong boundaries and unconditionally love someone from afar. But it doesn't, unconditional love doesn't mean putting up with crap. And that's unconditionally loving yourself, is having strong boundaries and saying no. So give us some more on this Seven of Cups and journey and unconditional love. Unconditional love, the Seven of Cups, journey. 2 fell out. So we've got the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is falling in love. This is, I fill my cup first. I do everything from my heart space. I don't do anything that doesn't fill my cup. I have enough love within my heart space to be able to share. My cup first. That's what that is. But it is falling in love, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a person. It can be a project, it can be self, it can be, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, it needs to fill your cup. And then it came with the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups is bringing people together. It can be reuniting. But as I've always said with this card, each of these 3 fairies have got different skills. So one's in blue, one's in pink, and one's in purple. These are all upper chakra abilities. So one has a very good ability to communicate. One has a very good ability to be empathic, and the other one has a very good ability to be able to visualize. So it could be falling in love with all of these aspects of self. But it can also be people coming together. And right at the bottom of the deck, we've got the 8 of Cups. So again, it's like anything that's not serving us, 7 of Cups, built on, you know, it's decision making. And then Eight of Cups, I'm going to jump on my dragonfly and I'm moving away. And it could literally mean I'm going to move away. I'm going to go on a journey. And when we journey on the outside as well as on the inside, we always learn something. But it's funny that that has come. So whatever it is, there's options coming in. It's heart-centered, heart-based, unconditional love, for self, always go back to self, for self, I love all the elements of me. We're going to celebrate this, and that's beautiful to have on this particular day. We're going to celebrate these parts of ourselves that are unique. No two people, well, none of us are the same. We're going to unconditionally love those parts of ourselves, and we're going to Eight of Cups, anything that is not in alignment, and that's what she's doing. She's staring at this like ball. It might even be a thought. It's like, am I deceiving myself about something here? Eight of Cups, give us some more. Give us some more on this Seven of... Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is mastering one skill but doing it to the utmost. She's weaving this basket, and she's got to weave it so that nothing falls out of it. She's mastering her skills. It's a progression in learning, but she's getting help as well. So she's got help. I mean, I don't, well, actually, they might just be climbing in there. But it's learning new skills, mastering your art, which if it's communication, if it's being empathic, if it's being, you know, it's leadership skills. Mastering those skills. Bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Wands. So this is the masculine and the feminine in their wand energy, which is really fiery, passionate, sexual, like, do energy. He's done his shadow work as well. He's gone in, you know, looked at things and gone, actually, where do I need to balance out here? But he's more of a, I'm going to go out into the world, like she can manifest. He's like, I'm now going to bring that into play. And that is within ourselves as well. So we do the shadow work with the Queen of Wands. We find out we have new healing abilities, or something that, you know, something about ourselves that fills our cup. We fall in love with ourselves. And then the King of Wands is either a masculine that comes in to match that vibration, or it's balancing the masculine side of it, as in, right, that's it, I'm not just going to talk about, you know, going into business. I'm actually going to go and start a business. I'm actually going to physically go and do something about it. So let's get some more on this Seven of Cups. Let's get some more. Something wants to go. There he is. He's the King of Wands. King of Wands. He's a magician. He's a magnificent manifester. But look at him. He is so, like, good to go. I'm ready. Tell me what you want. I'll do it. I'll get it. I'm coming in. Coming in thick and fast. Now, there's the Two of Pentacles at the bottom. And this is like weighing up options. But the thing with the Two of Pentacles is that she's got her hands full. So there's too many things going on, and she's got to let something go. Now, this could be the Eight of Cups. I need to let something go. Because something is weighing me down. I haven't got any free hands. So it could represent having too many responsibilities, trying to juggle two jobs at the same time, trying to keep two relationships going or whatever, you know, balancing something. Something's got to give. That was at the bottom of the deck. But there's definitely progress forward and possibly a journey, but I'm getting this maybe. Get your passport ready. You might get swept off your feet by this King of Wands. Possibly. Depending on, or that might be one of the options that's coming in. Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles and then strength at the bottom. So strength is strength in the mastery of the mind, strength in, you know, being able to have strong boundaries, spiritual strength in integrity. She has mastered the dragon inside. She doesn't react, she responds. That is spiritual strength. That's what it is to master this dragon. Now the Queen of Pentacles has gone through all the lack. She is not in an energy of lack. She is in an energy of abundance. She doesn't chase, she creates. And then she just waits for the universe to drop it in her lap. But this is very 3D, if you like. This is not 3D. This is very earth-based. This is, I'm abundant in, you know, I have enough of. It doesn't necessarily need to be money, but that's the energy that she sits in. She's like, I don't chase anything. It comes to me. I'm the Queen of Pentacles. I've worked hard, you know, I've got enough for myself, and that could mean anything. It's not necessarily tangible, materialistic wealth, but it's this energy of I'm sitting pretty in my Queen of Pentacles. So that's the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands would suggest, I mean they would pair very well, because obviously she's grounded in the actual, you know, I know my foundations are built on, and he comes in and, you know, does the not the labour, and it doesn't have to be a sex thing either, but this could be a balancing within the inside. Working on healing elements of aren't Queen of Pentacles, elements of aren't King of Wands. Right, we're going to get the Druid Tarot out and have a look and see if we can get any more with this Seven of Wands. There's progress, strength, protection, filling one's own cup, celebrations, Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands, and unconditional love. But there was some Eight of Cups, so, like Seven of Cups, there's a lot of cups to have placed in front of you. Some of them have got to go. Some of them aren't you know, the Queen of Pentacles does what she says on the tin. Now this could have caused there could have been some anxiety, some sleepless nights. This is a little bit of fear, uncertainty, not quite sure. This is keeping us awake at night, not quite sure what's going on. Few sleepless nights, possibly over this Seven of Cups. What way do I go? What decision do I make? And then we've got the King of Swords. Now the King of Swords is like, what I say is not, he doesn't speak, he's mastered his mind space and he says it as it is. And again, he's one of action. So what he says he's going to do, he does. But he doesn't take, it's a bit like the Queen of Swords, that when he says something, it might not be very empathic, but it does come out as it's meant to knowing that he's not responsible for the emotions of other people. He can be a little bit cutthroat, but in business he is like... So we've got the King of Swords, so that could be one of the options, and it may have kept us up at night. This Nine of Swords is like, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. There's too many things going on in my mind. And then the King of Swords is mastering that Nine of Swords. So maybe that's the progress, maybe that's the strength. That's what needs protection from. You know, if there's anything that's keeping you awake at night, it's got to go. Eight of Cups it out. And the King of Swords, you know, and that is an actual physical sort of like, I'm moving away from this. And I don't have to give you an explanation why. Let's see what else we get. This fell out on under the King of Wands, but we've got rebirth. Now this is a calling. I mean, it's beautiful to have this on this day, but it's a calling. It's, have you heard the trumpet call? Have you heard, do you know your own calling? It's a death of, and then a rebirth. It's called judgment in the normal tarot, but I think rebirth is probably a better. It's closing out cycles or being reborn within oneself. So if there wasn't any unconditional love, there's a wake-up call and then a rebirth. Possibly after mastering this Nine of Swords. I'm not going to let things keep me up at night, because they could be based on illusions or delusions. And then we've got the Seven of Wands. Now the Seven of Wands here, he's like on the protective. He's kind of built this wall round him, and there's a few of the guards underneath. So it could be a little bit of keep your guard up. I'm a little bit guarded. I'm not quite ready to, you know, put my wands down. And that could be the King of Wands, because it fell over there. But there's this rebirth going on. My Auntie Lee's been around me since yesterday. And she used to have this cough that I keep getting. So I know she's here. So let's see. And then we've got the Ten of Wands, and then the King of Wands. So we've got the King of Wands, we've had the King of Wands twice. I'll stick him with there. So that is mastery on the masculine side of doing the shadow work, but then going out into the world and using it, creating, manifesting. He's a magnificent manifester. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Ten of Wands. So that is a completion of a cycle, but there's carrying too many burdens. And possibly a lot of these burdens might not be your own. They could be other people's responsibilities that you felt obliged to carry. And when we get the Seven of Wands and the Ten of Wands together, it's like weighing up, hang on a minute, which one of these is mine? Which one isn't mine? Which one's based on reality, on the truth? Which one isn't? But it's carrying too much. The Ten of Wands is a cycle, a complete cycle finished, and then we put the burdens down. So what this is giving the feel of is looking in the heart space, seeing what matches unconditional love. This is how I feel about myself. Is my reality mirroring how I feel about myself? If I'm carrying these burdens could also be either ancestral or past life. Am I carrying too much? What's mine? What's not mine? what sits with my heart space, what's based on in unconditional love, and then dropping it. And that's when we get the rebirth. And it could take getting into the King of Swords and the King of Wands to be able to, he cuts the ties and then he does the inner work. And then they go out into the world and actually like create something in the physical form. And that 10 of Wands is completion cycle. My cup first. I don't move, everything is from the heart space. Falling in love with oneself. Empowering the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. I don't chase, I create. I know my worth. She knows her worth. Based on unconditional love. And then we've got the world. So this was an actual completion. This was a lesson. All the cycles closed out, or we're in the midst of closing out all these cycles so that we can have this rebirth. But I do feel like it's asking us to get into this divine masculine energy with being able to cut the ties and then move forward in the 3D, if you want to call it that. Let's ask, we'll have a little chat with the, I think that's so beautiful on this day, in this time. Let's have a little chat with the labyrinth fairies. So basically, anything that is causing you anxiety or keeping you up at night is weighing you down. Nothing, you know. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't have sleepless nights because she knows she's in the energy of abundance and has done all this work and then attracts like minds. This is getting together with like minds. This is celebrations. But like I said, it's pink, blue, it's all the top chakras. Right, let's see what the labyrinth fairies have to say. I call them that, but they're not that. Right, so 7 of Cups. Give us something on the 7 of Cups and this journey, whether it be an actual journey. So you may get invited somewhere, and on a spiritual level, you're going to learn a lot. Sometimes when we're in situations, places, we need to actually leave to be able to view it from a different angle, or again move away so that we can see what's ours. What is mine? What's being put on me? This is somebody who's carrying too many burdens of other people's. Here we go. Oh, I love this. This is probably one of my favourite cards. It's about, you can see that, there's masks. She's got the sword of truth. So I'm going to read that in a minute. I'll read it now, actually, and then we'll do some more. So again, 34. Is it 34? I haven't put my glasses on today. 34. Let's have a look. It is 34. So again, that's a number 7. So this may give us a little bit deeper into what that 7 of Cups is. Right, so yeah, truth, cutting through deception and clarity. Like I said, that 7 of Cups is finding out what's real and what's not real. What illusions do we carry about ourselves, about the world, about the people around us? This is cutting through. It's the mask of truth, true dreaming. Who holds the mask of truth is Lord of the Woodlands. His crown and antler. The branches signify his authority. He represents the mask to us, supported by the fairy of aspiration. She welcomes us on our own potential We wear the mask to look inward, to see our true selves. That's what I was saying, it's shadow work. Not our false, fearful selves, but the beings of light that we truly are and what we have the potential to be. It becomes very difficult for us to make excuses and blame others for our failures and fears once we have seen what we could be if we were willing. What in fact we already are, but not quite living up to. Let's do at this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based upon mutual respect, affection and trust. These things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are, but this is far from necessarily true. Now is the time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believed you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than what you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over carefully. You have more to give and more to enjoy than you have been giving yourself credit for. So that's unconditional love. But again, so the Seven of Cups is literally like, is this about, what illusions, delusions am I holding within myself? And when we got the Ace of Cups and unconditional love, that is my cup first. Let's get one more. So those Seven of Cups could be things that we were told, things that we've heard that are not true. But she's feeling it out. And like I say, Eight of Cups saying what no longer serves, not in alignment. Keeping me up at night. I need to get into my King of Swords energy and then move forward. 38. So we have Lusty Moon's Daughter. Light casts shadows, spiritual guidance, illumination and riddles. Oh, there's a bit there. Yet the process in guiding may pull a veil of cloud across the face of her mother, the moon, and 3 steps later we fall into a bog. That should wake you up. So it is kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call. Right, here we go. You may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. Things may be flowing more easily than you're accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions and foreknowns are becoming clearer and making more sense. Trust the process. She also brings psychic dreams, forelighting the future and illuminating the present. These dreams often speak in symbols, as fairies wont do. I want to get a bit more. So, through the revelation and the ecstatic experience of the mystic, Lurse faces and leads us into the future. She prefers to let the old stuff of the past fade away in the illumination of insight and newly assessed wisdom. There are places in ourselves that we may have feared because they are shadowed and unknown. We may imagine them full of monsters when in fact they are inhabited by joyful spirits. She wishes us to explore these terra incognita because this is where much of our potential and yet unexplored wisdom lies. She reaches into the deepest minds, opening long shut doors. illuminating and revealing the uncultivated ground of our being, our hidden senses and talents. She speaks to us of the language of symbols, as fairies often do, because words are so limited. Any one symbol may speak to us on many levels of consciousness and about many different aspects of being, if we spend time contemplating it. She's a sphinx, and finding the answers to her profound riddles gives us key to multi-universe. Do we need any more? Let's have a look. One more from the Labyrinth Fairies. And then I'm going to close with a rose. So 2, the Oakmen and the Singer of the Chalice. So the Oakman, he is wise, he's very old, 47. Strength, ancient wisdom and depth. This card depicts strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that what we need, it also reminds us what we need to know, what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance and hasty reaction. In a reading, the Oakmen tell us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter and to see past the superficialities of the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth and learn from the past. Consult others with more experience than you have. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make your decisions after more pondering. And that's what she's doing. It's strange that she's actually sitting by a pond, pondering. Consider the history. Where were we? Make your decisions after more pondering and studying. Consider motivations in depth. Take action only after thorough deliberation. The Oakmen tell us that haste may at this time be our worst enemy. They also suggest that we might learn a lot from the trees. Consider the trees, their wisdom, connect with the wise old one and ask for help. And then bottom of the deck, we've got the Singer of the Chalice. It's all heart-centered. It feels very much like what's going on in here. The Singer of the Chalice. Oh, my ring's got stuck. Joy, trust, patience, creativity, hope, and miracles. With the help of the Singer of the Chalice and the fairies, you too can get this one feeling that is all good feeling in one. Unconditional love, trust, hope, healing, patience, and so on. Open is open. Be open. If you don't know how, ask. It is right there. I asked the fairies here if there is a fairy name for this rainbow blissful feeling. They nod, smiling, the shrug. I get an unspoken feeling that if you have the feeling you don't need a name, and anyone who hasn't got the feeling isn't going to understand a word for it. It's just one of those things, like the mystical experience of ecstasis, that we can talk about without understanding, or we can understand and not really explain to someone who hasn't already got it. So the fairies nod, get it. People often think that love and hate are two sides of the same emotional coin, but that isn't quite true. Love is not simply the absence of hate, nor is hate the absence of love. They are altogether different things. As can easily be seen, When we are angry, it wears us out and leaves us feeling like less than we were. But when we love, it energizes us and we feel larger and richer than we were before. That burst of love began flowing through us. This is because anger comes from within, burning from our own substance, while love is an energy that flows through us, enlightening and expanding us. I'm going to close with a rose. Time to fly? Is it time to fly? Feels like. Spread those wings. Spread those wings. That's such my favourite card. I love it. Right, we're going to close with a rose. But yeah, I would suggest if you do come across any of these, I want to try and get them up onto YouTube, and then they won't get deleted after 3 months. Close with a rose for this beautiful reading. On Beltane, Mayday. Mayday! It's a wake-up call. Mayday, Mayday! Mayday, Mayday! It's the wake-up call. I love it. It's the call to rebirth. I mean, I know obviously Mayday, Mayday is a is a signal for, you know, help, but it also means, you know, something's ending, going down, and then gets reborn again, and closing out. The Ten of Wands, putting down the burdens and rebirth. And possibly taking a flight. Maybe even just a flight of fancy. Journeying, it's all outwardly, inwardly. Get your passport ready just in case. Here we go. Whispers of Mother Earth. Creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer and channel. So I think that it's open is open. And bottom of the deck we've got the sacred waters, which is nourishment, replenishment, health, rest and self-care. Unconditional love. I love you lots.